Hi and welcome to my channel. It was a long time ago that I made a video on this channel. The last year, it was a ride for me, and I believe that it was probably a big ride for most of us. I didn't start off the video that good, did I? The train was passing by and I didn't think about that, so I'm sorry. But the train is gone now, so we can go on with the video. And in this video, I am going to talk about a woman that changed the music history, and the woman I'm going to talk about in this video is Suzi Quatro. I'm a huge fan of Suzi since a while back, a few years now. I discovered her through the duet she made with Smokey singer Chris Norman, because I've been listening to Smokey for the longest time. My mother introduced me to them when I was very young. We listened to them in the car on road trips and such. But well, however, that is who I'm going to make a video about today. And just a disclaimer before I start with this video, I am not a professional in making videos. I'm not, you know, a professional music knower or whatever. I just love music and I love learning about music history and music overall. So that's why I'm making the videos, because it's fun. And you don't have to like them, you don't have to think that I'm doing good or anything, but I just thought that there are probably people that want to learn just like me. So I hope that you will enjoy learning together with me about these lovely artists and these lovely singers and musicians, really. So yeah, let's talk about Suzi. Suzi Quatro was born on the 3rd of June in 1950. She has 3 sisters and 1 brother and 1 half-sister. I'm not sure if the half-sister is included in the 3 sisters, but I think it's a separate sister. Suzi's parents fostered a number of other children when she grew up. Her father, named Art, was a semi-professional musician, and he worked at General Motors. Her mother's name is Helen, and she is Hungarian. Suzi's sister Arlene is the mother of actress Sherilyn Fenn. And her sister Patty joined the band Fanny, one of the earliest all-female rock bands to gain national attention. Suzi's brother Michael is also a musician. Suzi was at age 6 influenced by Elvis Presley when she saw him on TV. She has claimed that she doesn't really have any female role models in the music industry or in music overall, but she was inspired by Billie Holiday, and she liked the dress sense of Mary Weiss. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Weiss, I don't know. Of Shangri-La. That's how I think I pronounce that. Quatro received formal training in playing piano and percussion. She, however, taught herself to play the bass and the guitar. She played drums from an early age as a part of her father's jazz band, and his band was called the Art Quatro Trio. Suzi also appeared on television as a go-go dancer in a pop music series. In 1964, her sister Patty formed the all-female garage rock band called Pleasure Seekers, together with 2 friends. Suzi also joined the band with a stage name. She called herself Suzi Soul, and Patty called herself Patty Pleasure. Suzi sang and played bass in that band, and later on the band also featured another sister, Arlene. Many performances that the band made was in cabaret, I think it's pronounced. However, in cabaret, where attention was more focused on appearance, sometimes the girls had to wear miniskirts and wigs which Suzi later on considered a necessary evil for success. The band recorded these singles Never Thought You'd Leave Me, What a Way to Die in 1966, and Light of Love and Good Kind of Hurt in 1968. Pleasure Seekers changed their name to Cradle in late 1969, not long after another sister, Nancy, joined the band and Arlene left due to the birth of her child. Suzi then moved to England in 1971 after being spotted by record producer Mickey Most, who had founded his own record label, R.A.K. or Rock Records. Suzi's brother had taken on a manager role for Cradle, and he persuaded Mickey Most to see the band. Like many others in the record industry at the time, Mickey was seeking a female rock singer that could fill the gap of Janis Joplin after her death. According to the Encyclopedia of Popular Music, Mickey was drawn to Suzi by her comeliness and her skill as a bass guitarist, and as a singer and chief show in Cradle. Suzi also attracted attention from Elektra Records, who wanted her to become the new Janis Joplin. Suzi understandably did not want to be any other than Suzi herself. She didn't want to be the next Janis Joplin, she wanted to be the next Suzi. So Mickey offered to take her to England and make her the first Suzi Quatro. At that time, Mickey was not interested in other band members for Suzi, and he didn't really have any idea how he would market Suzi at that time. Suzi spent a year living in a hotel room, being nurtured by Mickey and developing her skills and maturing. Most would later say that the outcome of that was Suzi's personality. Suzi's first single, Rolling Stone, was only a success in Portugal, and over there it reached #1 in the charts. This was a solo effort, but it was aided by people like Duncan Brown, Peter Frampton and Alan White. With the approval of Mickey Most, Suzi subsequently auditioned for a band to accompany her. It was after this record, I assume Rolling Stone, that Mickey introduced Suzi to songwriting and production team of Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman, who then wrote songs to accord with her image. This was at the height of the glam rock period of the 1970s, and Suzi, who wore leather clothes, portrayed a wild, androgynous image, while playing music mostly hinged on a hard rock chug beneath lyrics, which scansion overruled meaning. In 1977, Suzi embarked as a support act on a UK tour with Thin Lizzy and headliners Slade. Elektra Records arranged for Suzi to use Thin Lizzy's newly acquired PA system during this, inquiring a charge of €300 per week that enabled the Irish band to effectively purchase it at no cost themselves. In 1973, her second single, Can the Can, which Philip Auslander describes as having seemingly nonsensical and virtually unintelligible I don't know how to say that. When intelligible, I don't know. Lyrics, was a #1 hit in parts of Europe and Australia. Stupid Philip Auslander. Can the Can was followed by hits such as 48 Crash. Several of these hits that she had was awarded gold discs, and they sold 1 million copies each, though they met with little success in the US, where she had toured as a support act for Alice Cooper. RAK or Rock Records artists had generally not succeeded in the US, and Suzi's first album, Suzi Quatro, was criticized by Alan Betrock for its lack of variety, of its Quatro-written second-rate fillers, and for her voice, described as often too high and shrill, lacking punch or distinctive phrasing. In 1973, Suzi played on a Cozy Powell hit. Musicians that acted as her backing band at this time was Alastair Mackenzie, Dave Neal, and Len Tuckey. With the exception of Australia, Suzi's chart success faltered thereafter, as proven with her 1975 hit Your Mama Won't Like Me, which proved to be a moderate success in the UK. Further singles, I Bit Off More Than I Could Chew and I May Be Too Young, both failed to reach the UK top 50. Suzi recorded an album in 1976 and recorded a new single in 1977 called Tear Me Apart, which reached the UK top 30, her first hit to do so in 3 years. And it took another year for another big hit, this time with a change to a more mellow style, giving Suzi a 1978 single, If You Can't Give Me Love, that became a hit in the UK. And I just have to say that is probably it is my favorite song of hers. It is such a good song, but it's kind of sad that that song is not really Suzi. She likes, the harder stuff. It's not really her to do the mellow or the softer songs, and that's the song that becomes a hit, That's kind of sad for her, but I really, really love that song. I love the lyrics, and of course I love her sweet, sweet voice. Later that same year, she made a duet with Chris Norman. Like I said before, I discovered her through that and became a fan from hearing that song. But she made a duet together with Chris Norman, singer of the band Smokey. And that duet song was called Stumbling In. And that song reached number 4 in the US charts. A year later, Suzi released Suzi and Other Four-Letter Words, but none of her other work had much US success. This, however, featured the hits She's in Love with You, which made it to number 11 in Britain, Mama's Boy, number 34, and I've Never Been in Love, number 56. In 1980, after the Mickey Mouse contract expired, Suzi signed with Chapman Dreamland Records, and in the same year she released her album Rock Hard. Both the album and the title single went platinum in Australia. Rock Hard was used in the film called Times Square and was included on the soundtrack album. The single reached number 11 in Australia, but only number 68, however, in the UK due to distribution problems. It was clear that her hit single career was starting to wane. A second single from the Rock Hard album, called Lipstick, was released in February of 1981, but radio refused to play it since it, according to them, sounded too much like Gloria by Van Morrison's band Them. Suzi Quatro's greatest hits, released in 1980, peaked at number 4 in the UK charts, becoming her highest charting album there. After Chapman's Dreamland Records folded in 1981, Quatro was left without record label. Her last hit in the UK for some time was Heart of Stone in late 1982. She released another single called Main Attraction in 1983. It failed to chart, but it did, however, become a moderate airplay hit. Suzi commented in an article for Kerrang! In 1983, after playing a successful show at Reading Festival on August 27th, that she did not care about being in the charts, but she was, however, more interested in releasing what she wanted to. She also commented that she started in 1964 and that she did not become famous until after 9 years. Quote, "I would never accept having my career molded by other people. I've kept working consistently, even though I've not been in the charts." Around this time, Quatro recorded a new album that was shelved until 1997, when it was issued as unreleased Emotion. Suzi briefly returned to recording for 2 more singles, I Go Wild in 1984, and in 1985, her Tonight I Could Fall in Love / Good Girl Looking for a Bad Time single reached number 140 in UK charts. She also collaborated with Bronski Beat, members of The Kinks, Eddie and the Hot Rods, and Dr. Feelgood on Mark Cunningham produced cover version of David Bowie's Heroes. It was released in the following year as the 1986 BBC Children in Need single. Suzi also released a cover version of Wild Thing in November of 1986 as a duet with the Trogs singer Reg Presley. Can the Can, originally released in 1973, and Devil Gate Drive in 1974, were re-released in 1987. Suzi was also a part of the Very Aid single Let It Be, which was a UK number 1 13 years and 26 days after her first UK number 1. In 1989, Suzi released a pre-recorded backing track single called Baby Rustar, though it failed to chart. By the late 1980s, it was clear that Suzi's hit-making days were over, though she still recorded persistently despite the lack of chart success. During the 1990s, she released 4 new albums, though Unreleased Emotion was recorded several years previously. What Goes Around, Greatest and Latest, was released in 1995, and it consisted of mainly older hits re-recorded, and it proved a success in Denmark. Except for her 1999 Free the Butterfly Self-Help album, it would take Suzi further 11 years to release a new album. The Back to the Drive album, released in 2006, showed a return to Suzi's harder rock roots, rather than the smoother sounds of her previous albums. Back to the Drive returned Suzi to the worldwide charts, her first album to do so since 1980's Rock Hard. This album also produced a download-only single called I'll Walk Through the Fire With You. Quatro released in the Spotlight album in 2011 with the lead single Whatever Love Is. She marked her 50th anniversary in the music industry with an anthology called Girl from Detroit in 2014 with 2 new tracks. Around 2005, a documentary about Suzi's life called Naked Under Leather, named after bootleg album recorded in 1975 in Japan, directed by the former member of the band The Runaways, Victory Teichler or Teichler Blue, was made, but this was never released. In February of 2006, Quatro released a new album called Back to the Drive, produced by Sweet guitarist Andy Scott. The album's title track was written by her former collaborator Chapman. In March of 2007, Suzi released a cover version of Eagles' song Desperado, followed by her autobiography Unzipped. By this time, Suzi Quatro had sold over 50 million records. On June 11 in 2010, she headlined the Girls' Night Out at the Isle of Wight Festival. Quatro was also inducted into the Michigan Rock and Roll Legends Online Hall of Fame in 2010 following an online vote. On November 16, 2011, a music video by Teichler Blue for the track Strict Machine was released on the official YouTube channel of Suzi Quatro. The track is a cover of Gold Frapp's song Strict Machine, but Suzi's version contains 2 lines from Can the Can, referencing the similarities of the tunes for the 2 songs. On April of 2013, Suzi performed in America for the first time in over 30 years at the Detroit Music Awards, where she received the Distinguished Lifetime Achievement Award presented to her by her sister Patty. In 2017, Suzi released her 16th studio album, backed by Andy Scott from Sweet on guitar and Don Powell from Slade on drums. Suzi is still active today, for example with her tour The Devil Inside Me tour for 2022. And that was all the facts and everything that I wanted to say about Suzi Quatro. I think she is such a power lady, a power girl. She grew up in a completely different time than me, and I really respect her in the sense that, you know, she really had to be persistent. She really had to be strong. The music industry today is sexist. The music industry today is misogynistic. People today don't believe in women, and the fact that she made it into the music industry and made a name for herself is a huge achievement. I can't imagine how hard it must have been at that time to even be seen, to even be heard as a woman especially. And as we heard, as we learned, she got quite a lot of critique that I didn't really see that, you know, the Sweet got, for example. And I can imagine that at that time, women were, you know, critiqued a lot harder than men, because they didn't really, especially when they did something different like Suzi did. She was androgynous, she had her own style, she was into hard rock, you know, the harder stuff. And I can imagine that, you know, old men was like, or men overall was like, people overall was like, she's a girl, she can't do this, it's not good enough, it's not good at all, like, it's a girl, you know, it's a woman, she can't do that. That's a man thing, that's something that men do. And she had to fight through that, she had to stay persistent, she had to stay true to herself, and she really went her own way and did her own thing, which really inspires me. And that's really one of the biggest reasons I want to make a series about women in the music industry, in the music history, because it can't have been easy, but they did it, and they made a path for women today. They dug out a path for women today to walk in the music industry, and it's really inspiring, and it's really amazing to hear. So she is definitely a inspiring woman, and I would definitely like to go see her sometime. I really hope I can. I would definitely want to go to one of her gigs. Maybe if she comes close to where I live in Sweden, I'll go there. You know, maybe in Malmö or something like that. I will go. I would really like to see her. I would like to see the Sweet too. This is not a video about the Sweet, but you guys know how much I love the Sweet, and I would love to see them as well, but they do not, unfortunately, have any dates planned right now to go to Sweden again. So I'm really sad about that, because I really hope they go to Sweden again someday, because I really want to see them in my lifetime. But I want to see Suzi, of course, too. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really hope that you enjoyed learning with me about more about Suzi, getting to know her, the character that she is, the strong woman that she is. I hope that you learned some things that you didn't know before about her. And I really hope to see you in the next video if you want to. And I also want to say that I have a second channel, another channel aside from this one, that I upload covers and my own songs too. I'm singing myself, so I really would appreciate if you guys would head over there and maybe have a listen. I'll link my other channel in the description, so you can go and watch if you'd like to. You don't have to, but it would be greatly appreciated. But anyways, I hope you have a lovely day. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.